I guess I'll talk about myself for just a moment, in case any of you don't know me. I don't, my head's not that big that I think I know everything and that everyone knows me. But I've been vegan for almost 21 years now. I have been a bodybuilder for almost 19 years now, 18 years bodybuilding, so over half of my life. Like Alex said, going vegan was the easy thing. I read a PETA magazine on the way to middle school and realized what we do to animals, how we kill, rape, torture all of them, whether we drink milk or eggs or eat their meat. It still is a horrible, horrible thing to support. And that day I made the choice to go vegan. It was a very easy choice there. Dealing with bullying and not feeling like I had connection. The vegan squad community was definitely not created back then. Life definitely felt harder. So I'm very grateful that we have this now. And what VSC is becoming, and what I'm realizing is this is like the training grounds. This is how we can all level up, how we can share knowledge and information and passion, connection, and take what we have right now and continue to level it up over time and create the next leaders of the world. Like that's my goal for Seth. I want Seth to be in my position. I want him to have everything that I have. The same for Alex, the same for every single one of you listening. For Dustin, we've been really working to grow this. We started not even a year ago. We're not even a year old. We've got over 250 members in the community, over 100 clients, and we're literally just getting started. This is going to change the world. It already has changed the world. It's changed a lot of individual lives. We've helped a lot of people go vegan, but that's not where it ends. That's just the start. All of you. If you're not yet vegan, privately message me. We'll sit down and we'll have a conversation. We can definitely help fix whatever limiting beliefs, whatever belief that you have about health or fitness or nutrition or mindset or family or food. We can break that together. You can stand up. You can be a champion for the animals. You can sleep at night knowing that you're not causing harm or suffering to another sentient being that wants to live. And it can't just stop there. That's where I failed. I was vegan for 20 years, and the only last 2 to 3 years did I start speaking up, did I start becoming what I wanted to be in life. I think I've always wanted to be an activist. I was just too scared to speak. I was too afraid of being judged. I was too afraid that if I was different, people wouldn't like me. Maybe my message would be misconstrued. Maybe I should be quiet about it and let people learn to like me. And then 6 to 12 months later, let them politely know that I am vegan. And then they would listen to me. People aren't going to do that. People only change when they are confronted with something uncomfortable. And in the same way that my friend helped me go vegetarian when I was 10 years old, telling me I was killing a cow by eating a hamburger, it made me uncomfortable. It made me realize really that I was a part of this, but I get to choose which part do I want to be. Do I want to be part of the problem or part of the solution? Every single one of you listening, you can be part of the solution if you want to. And really, if you're going to be on this team, if you're going to be here, if you're going to work within this organization to help us grow, we need you to be on the part of the solution side. So here to help. But today, we're going to talk a little bit here about training and how you can use that to optimize realistically every area of your life. So what I believe is like how you do one thing is how you do everything. So how you train is going to be also how you show up for yourself, how you take care of yourself, how you show up for your partners, how you show up in your career and your education. Whatever principles you learn from training today, you can apply that to literally every aspect of your life. And so I'm a little bit curious if we can get a vibe check with everyone. What do we want to learn today with training? What do you feel like you're being held back on? What are your goals? Are people here trying to build muscle? Are we trying to lose fat? Are we trying to step on stage as a bodybuilder? Are we trying to get better for a sport? Let me know in the chat what you guys are wanting to do, and I can tailor this presentation for you guys. I have a lot of notes written down, but I can go anywhere. So I want to hear from you what we're trying to do here. There's about 36 of y'all in here. Let's get some stuff in the chat. Let's get it moving. All right. Trying to lose fat, Carly. Okay. Okay. Training can facilitate that. We'll talk about how training can help you lose fat for sure. All right. Lose belly fat specifically. All right. Tone up. All right. We got three. I need like 20 more. Come on. Unless you're driving. Ooh, Billy. Hitting me hard there. Trying to be a better version of myself. Billy, we can 100% do that. Just you even speaking it right there. Being a better version is going to happen. Annie, you lost 70 pounds and you want to step on stage one day and compete? Let's freaking go. Hannah, building muscle and feeling better, dealing with chronic illness, vegan for 19 years. It was my first time focusing on protein. Awesome. Definitely in the right place here. Okay. All right, I'm gonna write some of these down so I don't forget. Belly fat, ripped and improved health. And the thing is, a lot of vegans, they focus just on the nutrition. And don't get me wrong, nutrition is important, but it's not the only thing. You can use nutrition just to get lean, just to lose fat. But if we want to build muscle and actually change our lives, I feel that training is a big key piece that a lot of people miss out on. There's several key factors of training. I'm about to dive into that. I'm just writing down a couple of these. Reverse type 2 diabetes. Okay. We can cover all this. So I'm gonna keep you guys on the hook. I'm gonna come back to your individual questions that you have once we get to the end. I'm going to try to move through my presentation with some speed so we have time to open it up at the end, bulking without feeling like you're stuffed. All right, Romy. What's up, Romy? Good to see you here. You might have to tell Allie that we need a little bit less whole foods in that meal plan. Difference in how macros are calculated. Sharon, we might need to have a separate conversation on that. Oh, Hannah, you want to be a power lifter and compete? We should definitely talk there. Definitely talk. We have bodybuilders, we have power lifters, we have people out there changing the world, showing other people exactly what they can do. So, all right. I'm going to go ahead and dive a little bit into the training. We'll hit that and we'll come back to some other things I want to hit later. But so some key aspects of training that you guys are going to hear today and that I'm going to explain to you and show you how you can apply them to yourselves. One is intensity. So taking sets to failure, how hard you're doing the actual movements in the gym. Others will be things like range of motion. We'll work on tempo, also form and setup. We want to make sure that this is safe. The reps, how do the reps look from rep 1 to rep 12? Is there a change along the way? And how you can standardize your training so that you can make progress over time. I think what's going to be useful here is to kind of gauge what you guys do right now. I want to know, like, do we take sets to failure? Are you guys leaving reps in reserve? What does that look like? Let me know in the chat real quick. Let me know if you even know what those mean. Do you know what taking sets to failure is? Do you know what a rep in reserve is? And then how do you actually train yourself? If you guys have questions, now would be a great time to be a little bit vulnerable and put it over there. All right, anti-progressive overload. That's a great point. All right, failure, good deal. No idea, Carly. All right, good deal. Well, that's exactly what we're going to cover here. So, aggressive overload, get to failure. All right. So what these mean? We'll just start with progressive overload. The simplest way to think of progressive overload is how did I do today versus yesterday or versus last week? You can progressive overload in many different ways. So usually the most common is if you go to the gym and you do 5 push-ups, next week you do 6. There's some type of progressive overload. If you go to the gym and you do the same thing every day or every week, and a year later, you're still doing the exact same thing, it means we've made no progress. And I've been in certain gyms for 2 or 3 years at a time, and I will watch people using the same weights each week for years at a time. They're not actually making progress. They're maybe maintaining, maybe they don't know what to do, maybe they're just in a comfort zone, but they're not actually progressing. So every time we go to the gym, granted, if you're in like a very big calorie deficit, we might not see as much progress. If you've been training for 18 years like myself, you might not see as much progress. But every time we go to the gym, we do want to see progress in one area. And that is with the weight that we're lifting, the reps that we're lifting. So basically, how can we measure progress? There's a few different ways. If you do the same thing, like 5 push-ups, 6 would be the next best. If you're doing 5 pounds on something, maybe next week you go up to 7.5 pounds. But we need to standardize this. We need the reps to be identical. We can't do push-ups where the first 5 are full range of motion and then the next 3 are half reps. That's no way to do it. So we need to standardize each rep. I tell people they should look like a machine with the training. You want to look like a machine. You just go up and down identically each time. Now, we've talked about progressive overload. So how do we make progress? There's other ways to do it too. You could reduce your rest time between sets. That's one option. what else can you do? You could do like mechanical drop sets and like other things like that, but we don't need to focus on that today. Progressive overload, basically getting stronger from one session to the next. The next thing, we'll talk about failure. And if you don't know what failure is, it sounds a lot like the word. There's two types of failure. There's mental failure, and then there's physical, like body failure. Just like in your car, when you slam on the gas and your car has that little red line, and you go up, and then the RPMs are like just bouncing off the red line, and it won't go any faster. We will get to number of reps if those matter. Um, if you're in that car, you could actually disable that rev limiter and push your engine a little bit further. We all have that rev limiter in our head. We think, 10 is all that I can do. But failure comes, in my eyes, from your body, not from your mind. Your mind will always try to hold you back. Your mind will always try to tell you that you're not quite as strong as you should be, or you can't really do this. And so what I recommend every single one of you do is go into the gym and surprise yourself. Say, hey, I think I'm going to be able to get 10 reps today, but I'm going to find out just how many I can get. When I do 10 and it's hard, I'm going to go for 11. And then if 11 is hard, I'm going to go for 12. And if 12 is the hardest rep of my entire life, I'm still going to go 13. And I'm going to keep going until I cannot physically finish another rep. We want to do this in the safest way possible, of course. Diane, you might not be able to do it exactly like this or with certain movements. And we want to be safe there. Like we might want to be careful and not do something crazy to failure with like a bench press at home with a barbell, so that if you fail, it falls on your chest. That's why I'm a huge proponent, basically training basics, like taking this way back, like things that every one of y'all should have been told the day you first walked into a gym. Use the clips on the sides of the bars. The last thing you need to do is have something happen while you're training and have one of the plates fall off, and then you get injured because of that. Like avoiding injuries and not quitting, if you do that, you will make progress the rest of your life. If you just don't quit and you don't make injuries, injuries will definitely slow you down. They can even reverse your progress. So we want to add clips on the bars. If anything has the ability to be made safe, whether it's a squat rack, a bench press, a lot of the machines have built-in safety Smith machines, use those. Listen to me. I've had so many clients get injured over the years that don't listen to me. This doesn't have to be you. That is going to be huge. So covering intensity. I want you guys to approach your sets as if this was life and death, or as if this was $1 million or not. If we're able to go into the gym and truly push ourselves mentally, you can push yourself anywhere else in the world. My leg days, I've thrown up from training legs. I have fallen from training legs. I've almost passed out. I've caused my nose to bleed. I've lost my hearing temporarily. Like training hard is just like next level. It is like the only time in my life where I truly feel alive for like 30 seconds at a time. It's insane. If you guys have seen like Fast and Furious, they're like, oh, you're alive for 1/4 mile at a time or whatever. It's like, it's that. It's like, it's insane how you can feel if you actually push yourself that way. And that's where we make a ton of growth too. Our rev limiters in our brain, they want to hold us back. They want to prevent us from being able to do the absolute max that we can. And so it's your job when you go to the gym to find out how you can push to that next level. You do that even without a proper program. Everybody's worried about sets, reps, like drop sets, intensity things, supersets. If you're not training to failure, in my eyes, all of those other things are just like, it's like trying to pick up pennies off the floor when there's $100 bills laying there. Start with the easy stuff. Take sets to failure. We'll talk a little bit more about proper form here. My view on a belt, Annie, very, very specific. If you're trying to be a power lifter and that is your goal is to lift the most amount of weight and bracing heavily, belts have a place. But for example, just to throw out numbers, I've squatted like 555 without a belt for reps. I've deadlifted 585 for 6 reps without a belt. Like you could go very, very far in this without a belt. I'm not a power lifter. I'm just a bodybuilder, but there's guys pulling and girls pulling insane amounts of weight without a belt. So it's something that you could do, but it's not required, at least until you get to the very advanced levels. So how do we standardize our training? One thing that we need to really work on is our range of motion. We want to use, in most cases, the full range of motion for a few reasons. One, it's usually safer. Two, it standardizes this. If you're doing like 3/4 squats or half rep squats, did you go like halfway this time or 55% down this time or 60% down this time? Also, for most movements, our bodies are designed to work in a certain pattern. And so, like for squats, for example, safer for your knees to go full to depth than to stop halfway through the movement. So I would recommend for everything that we standardize that range of motion. I have an athlete I'm working with right now, and what she does on her bench press is she'll come down and touch her chest for like the first 8 reps, and then the next 4 she'll be 3 or 4 inches away from her chest. And in my eyes, it's very hard to standardize that. Like, do we count those as partial reps? What do we do with those? It makes tracking and measuring and working on that progressive overload more obscure, harder to see, harder to understand, and it makes making progress harder. So match your range of motion. And this is the way that I view it. Every single chance you're in the gym is an opportunity to work on your perfection. So when you're doing your warm-up sets, use the same range of motion, use the same tempo, use the same speed with your reps. Pretend this is a working weight set. I've actually been more injured in my squatting career on warm-up sets. When I warm up with 315 or warm up with 405 before doing 5 or 6 plate sets, that's where I get injured because my brain's not, my brain wasn't as into those warm-ups. So don't be like me. You guys can avoid my mistakes. That's how you can get to where I'm at way faster. So make sure that you warm up and treat those the same way that you would treat a working set. Make every rep identical. For tempo, that's another really good indicator. That's one thing I do as a coach, and we'll do that soon when we go look at some training footage. Your tempo should be standardized on each movement. We want to have, I'm trying to like make this basic, but also share exactly as much as I possibly can. So one way that I look at this is like when the weight is coming up or down, I want you to have so much control that if I was like red light, green light, and like said to like stop it or reverse it, if we're pushing up on a bench press, I'm like, just kidding, go down. Or if you're going down, just kidding, go up, that you can change that movement at any point in time, that you have that much control over what you're doing. If you see guys in the gym that are just like throwing the weight up, they're not really controlling it. Like, I guess if like there was like some money on the line, whoever could do the most reps, then that's exactly how you'd want to do it. You'd want to use as much momentum, as much explosive force as possible, because you're not tiring out your muscles as much. So from a perspective of building muscle and training, I think that going a little bit slower is usually better. You don't want to drag it out too slow on the concentric. You can go a little slower on the negatives, but having control both directions with what you're doing is huge. And not just control, but also intention. A lot of people start to get into the mindset of, oh, I'm doing a bicep curl, so that the ultimate goal is to have this dumbbell up by my shoulder. But when you start using momentum, swinging, using your shoulders, using your lower back, you're going to be placing more tension on that bicep. I just told a client today, like 10 pounds for you might be a little bit too heavy for you. You're probably about using 70% for your biceps. The rest is coming from your back from you swinging. So it'd be better for you to just take that 10-pound dumbbell, drop it, grab a 7-pound dumbbell, use perfect form. And then with that perfect form, you can work your biceps fully, not risk hurting your back, and also be able to standardize your reps. What we got here? Yes. Yeah, Emilio. Yeah. Micro tears and slower, better recovery, smaller tears. You don't have to understand it for it to work, but he's correct there. That's how we're going to get more out of what we're doing in the gym. It crushes me when people go to the gym and they don't train hard and they don't know what they're doing. They don't have great form, and then they don't go home and they don't eat right, and then they don't make results, but they spent 2 hours in the gym. It's like you've just wasted your time there. So aspects of training, we got intensity, range of motion, tempo. These are all things that I would write them down. What is time under tempo or tension? So time under tension is how long is that muscle under tension. So basically what we were saying before, like a push-up, for example, if I was in a push-up contest, I'd want to do like 100 push-ups at 1 second each. It's about 1 second time under tension. But if I wanted to grow my chest as much as possible, I might do 4 or 5 seconds. I might push up for 1 and then down 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. Because in that place is more time under tension, more also intention on my chest doing the work. So this is one thing I tell my athletes, like if we're training our glutes, we're doing hip thrusts, I want you to take your brain out of your head, put it in your glutes. We're trying to feel our glutes on each rep. We want our glutes to be the primary movers here. We might still feel it, some in our quads, some in our hams, but the goal is to use your glutes to make the movement happen. Hannah, This is a long one. I want you to fill out the form so we can actually talk on the phone about this and see exactly what we can do. So if you could please do that, Hannah, I will go ahead and schedule a call with you and we can take a deeper dive into this. This is very specific. Okay, aspects of training, things that I wanted to cover. Progressive overload, intensity, range of motion, tempo. Last one, which is really the first one, is your form and your setup. So when I'm reviewing client footage and we come 1 week to the bench press bar and we're this wide, next week we're this wide, next week we're this wide, you're all over the place. And it makes not only tracking your progress impossible, because if you're using different grips, you're using different muscles, you're practicing different forms. It's apples to oranges versus apples to apples. Additionally, it's almost like riding a bike, but if the bike changed each time or something like that, like you get used to your bike. So you got to get used to your grip and find what works best for you and then standardize. So I know, like on the gyms that I go to, the bars that I use, I know exactly where I need to place my thumb on the bar to know the spacing. The bars have that grip, the knurling. You want to figure out for yourself where to place your hands and then get locked in and stay there. You should never not know the next week where exactly to go. So standardize your form and your setup. The other thing, this is why with coaching, it's so important to send us your footage. We're able to see exactly how you're built and how you're set up on the machine that you're on. Every human is built a bit differently. And so us being able to see that as the coach, or even you watching yourself back, if you're taking footage, allows you to really, 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 really focus in, standardize your form, and make progress week over week. Ask me how I know. Like the first 10 years of my career, I wasn't doing all the things that I just told you right now. I probably made more progress in the last 5 years than I did in the first 12. Like it's 12 or 13. It's crazy how these things don't seem like that big of a deal. You might not think that you need all of these, and I guess technically you don't need them. It's just what do you want to do? So above all else, you guys really, really, really will benefit from tracking your workouts. Does anybody in here currently track your workout? I would love to know that, and tell me how you do it. I used to use like old school notebooks. I got notebooks going back to 2008. I also use the Heavy app, Hevy. It's free for up to 3 days in the gym, and you can log your stuff. All right, Jaime, we got the Heavy app. What else? What else does everybody else here use? I'm curious. There's nobody else track. Fitbod, okay. Not use Fitbod. I'm gonna have to try some new things. All right, you got 2 people tracking. Well, you guys give yourself a pat on the back. I appreciate you. Samsung Notes log. Notes work. I use Apple Notes for a long time. The trainer, so do what he tells me. All right, Hannah, if it's a good trainer, that's not a bad idea either. Heavy app recently. We're doing a book, more of an app person. Same, Dustin. Trainer eyes, okay. Yeah, so yeah, thank you, Emilio. Track, yes. What I track at a bare minimum is every single set and every single rep in that set and the weight used for that set. That's like a bare minimum. Sometimes though, especially like if I'm at like a stalling point, like I've been hitting 8 reps on something and it's been a hard 8 every week. And the next week I go for 9, I'll put like 8.5, but I don't actually put 9 until I get it. But then I know the next week I'm like, well, you tried for 8.5 last week. Let's go in there. Let's get fired the fuck up. Think about something that's important to you and really put that on the line and go for 9. And usually that'll push me over. All right. You guys got the spreadsheets. All right. Journals, Samsung Notes. Yeah. And I don't just track PRs either, Emilio. So we'll get into, I got notes all over the place. All right. So actually, I don't even have this written down, but it's in the head. All right. I have the rule of 3s. So with you guys tracking, I want you to focus on this rule of 3s. It's not exactly science, but it's intuitive and it works. When you're tracking, of course, the goal is to progress every single time. Now, I will say, don't just fall down to your logbook. If your logbook said you did 10 reps last week, don't go in and hit 11 this week. Go in and hit failure. You might hit 15, you might hit 14, you might hit 13, you might hit 12, you might hit 11, you might hit 9, but you won't know until you take a set to failure. But where you want to be careful, and this is like a more holistic viewpoint, with the rule of 3s, let's say we have like a push-pull legs workout, and that's what we do each week. Let's say you hit push, and your weights or your reps this week went down. And then you hit pull next, and weights went down, and reps went down. And then you hit legs next, it went down. 3 workouts in a row, That should be a red flag. Every now and again, we have a bad night's sleep. Maybe we don't exactly eat the best that we should, and we have a bad session. Maybe sometimes even two in a row. But if we got some stress at work, we might have two in a row. But if we have three sessions in a row, something is likely systematically wrong. Either we got too much volume in the program, or we're not eating enough, we're not sleeping enough, something our hormones are off, something should be looked at. Ladies, time of the month, factor that in, could also play a part in this. You'll know yourself better than anyone else, or your coach will have helped you figure this out better than anyone else. The other side, sorry, I was reading Roman. Yes, prioritizing form and recording videos is huge. If you're dealing with back pain, we want to find out, did it happen in the gym? Was it from form? Is it something we can correct, or was this outside of it? So we want to use that. The form, the footage is so important. I'm going to have to speed up. So the other side of the rule of threes, like I said, if we do push-pull legs this week, and let's say legs, the reps went down. And then next week, push-pull legs went down. The next week, push-pull legs, and legs went down. We've hit three in a row, just not the same week, but 3 leg sessions. If everything else is improving, it's another sign. Like, what's wrong here? Do I need a deload? Is it because I do literally push on Monday, pull on Tuesday, legs on Wednesday, and I haven't recovered? That's where the detective work as a coach usually comes into play, or you looking at yourself, being objective, trying to understand why. Outside of that, I don't worry about a bad day in the gym. They happen. If you're in the gym for a decade, you're going to have some bad days. That's okay. Just don't quit. Keep moving forward. All right. We're going to move into the more of the demonstrative side of this. I'm going to share my screen. We're going to run through some training footage and show you guys what to look for. This is just how I speak. So I say guys, that means everyone, ladies, non-binary, everyone. I try to catch myself. I'm going to show you all wonderful, beautiful human beings. Thank you for being here. I'm going to show you guys some training footage from my clients that we can run through and we can pick it apart together. So let me go ahead and share this screen over here. You guys see that? Yeah. All right, cool. All right, let's present it. All right. So this is running through Sergio. He started about 197 pounds last year, and you guys may have already seen this presentation, but I did not take the time to really go through the footage. 6 months later, down 158 pounds. I'm going to skip through this. So with this set, what I look for on movements like this, a few different things. We're going to want to match the reps. Are the reps staying the exact same throughout this set? Are they starting to change by the end of the set? Right there, that rep, he didn't come as far up. Almost as far, but he's standing up a bit more. Now, here's where I appreciate him for like going for a couple more, but like the second time he tried to pull, probably didn't need to. Once you're unable to get a full rep with the same form, we can push into that like training pass failure style, but on an exercise like this, and in most cases, I typically don't recommend it. I feel like it's hard to be consistent. It's hard to track. You're more likely to get injured. You're starting to use body English, bring in other muscle parts that don't need to be used. So we're going to compare that with how he improved this here on the right. After having a few weeks of like, hey, we need to lock this in. What I like is his back is straighter. Ooh. Oh no, sorry. Back is a little bit straighter here. And every single rep on the right is identical. I know this because I've already watched this, but we'll watch it through. And you can just see, like, these are like 3 weeks apart. He did not become a better bodybuilder or weightlifter in 3 weeks. He just approached the set differently. So I feel like that's really powerful. And then see, he tried for one final one and then couldn't get it, and he just walked away. That's perfect. Perfect. A lot of people will sometimes like their program will say 12 to 15 reps. They'll hit failure at 10 and then they'll bust out like 5 crappy reps. And it's like, why? That's not how you should do this. This is just a demonstration of like roughly 3 months apart. This was like his first day doing these. Range of motion could have been a little bit better. Back is a little bit too rounded here. If your back is really rounded on the hyperextensions, it's going to be more of a glute exercise. He's going a little bit fast, but he's strong, and I think his grip is trying to give out because it's like 115 pounds. But back is straight on these. So, but still, even months later, you could still improve this. I think you could go slightly slower on the tempo. Just little things that you guys can start piecing together to always improve. Typical number of exercises recommended for each body part workout per day. Well, Remind me to come back to that, Katie. Copy that. Save it for later. This one, incline Smith press, one of my favorite movements. And one thing that Sergio and I have worked on over time here, his grip was changing week by week. We covered that earlier. Here, I think his grip is maybe slightly too close. You see the elbows starting to poke out. I like to have wrists above elbows. The other thing is he's too far back. The machine is too far back, so he's now pressing. He's almost trying to press like diagonally, but this is a vertical machine. The movement needs to be vertical. So here's him later. You can see this looks vertical. The weight's not starting to come back. His elbows aren't kicking backwards. Wrists and elbows at the bottom. Look at that. It's perfect. That elbow's going to push directly up through the wrist. What that's going to do, did it again. Jeez, my mouse is too close to the computer. All right. What this is going to do, having those wrists right underneath the elbows, is going to create the most efficient use of his form. So on the left side, we're losing a lot of his muscles' ability to press here because he's just not set up optimally. So over here, we're getting like twice as much weight, 4 more reps. And this is only in a roughly like a 6-month time frame. Tempo is really good. That's one thing that he's always been good at here. And also range of motion. He touches his chest every time. And look at that. Perfect finish. He went for the last rep. He didn't stop when he was tired. He didn't stop when he didn't think he could get any more. He didn't stop when he knew he couldn't get any more. He stopped when he hit failure. And he did it in a safe way. On a Smith machine, if you're feeling very comfortable, I would still recommend setting up the safety bars. But a little bit safer, I think, than like a free weight here. Next, we'll look at Rosie. I have some more footage of her than I do of Sergio. She wanted to be a bodybuilder. This is where she started in January. And we focused heavily on training. Here, we're going to cover the form and setup side of things. So with the top video, we can see how high her foot is placed. It's typically better for glutes, but with her, it seems to be limiting her range of motion. So over here, literally same workout. And this is the other thing, standardize it. Maybe she noticed on the first set that these weren't feeling great and that she could get more out of them because by lowering her foot here, she's able to get this a bit deeper. And what we look for when we're training, we want to have full range of motion because that is where we get the stretch in the muscle and that's where the growth occurs. Controlling the negatives and getting a stretch. Like if you want to write that down and that's the only thing you take out of this whole presentation, that's huge. 100% stay in the stretch, fight the negative. That will help you grow more than almost anything else. And also, you know, we can work with the form and the setup, the foot positioning here, put her in a more optimal position to train her glutes. All right, I think this is just a regular set that we can watch. So this I remember being a good set. That's why I added it in here. What can we do? One thing we can do to make this a little bit more intense, not that it's not already relatively intense. I think this is almost the end of the set. That's why. We were noticing she was taking quite a few breaths between reps. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but on movements like a leg press, you could turn what should be like a 20 rep set into a 30 rep set by taking a few breaths, like these micro pauses at the top. The downside to that is you'll build up a lot more fatigue. So for most people, 1 to 2 breaths is fine. Any more than that, like if you're taking 4 or 5 breaths to sneak out an extra rep, you're just going to end up tiring yourself out. And the reason I put this in here is most people don't do this. They don't take sets to failure. They don't go to where the rack is literally on the bottom, especially for leg press, for a couple of reasons. One, it is hard to do this. It is hard to take yourself to failure. You can see it in her face. Like, this is not comfortable. We grow when we're uncomfortable. The other huge thing that I want to recommend is, I call it the pancake test. I should get this like patented. This is for me. Any machine that you guys use, I want you to pretend that you pass out. You literally fall asleep while training. Can you fail safely? If the answer is no, you're taking on unnecessary risk. Your chances of injury are going up. If something were to happen, like something bad happened, like you had some sort of like minor blood clot, or you passed out, or you didn't eat enough, but then this weight comes crashing down and you wake up with a torn muscle or torn ligament, tendon, you got to go get surgery. Not a good day. I think, again, like I said, if you don't quit and you don't get injured, you can be great with time. So she set this up to where she could fail safely. So big pat on the back for her. This side, again, we're going to work on the form and positioning. So the left side, really doesn't look bad here. Like if this was all I saw and didn't know that we could do anymore, or this was me and I was watching myself back, I'd be like, yeah, I'm pretty much hitting depth. We look at the hip crease. Does the hip crease kind of go below where the knees go? Obviously, this is sideways. Like if we stood her up straight, is this hip crease going below where her knee is? Just about. Like it's close. It's really close. But I program in hack squats to be more of a quad-based movement. Over here on the right, her feet a little bit lower. We can watch the knees come out further. Hips are coming way low. She's getting a big stretch in her quad. She's even got more weight on there too because she's gotten stronger. These are separate time videos. But this right there, and look, that was a grinder rep. But this is exactly where most people would stop and call it a day. They would do this. Did it change back? They would stop it right there. But I want to see my athletes going to failure. It's painful, it's uncomfortable, but that is really where we grow. And there you go. She tried, she hit failure. There's no question in my mind that was all she could have done. Other way around, I would have wondered, could she have had one more rep? So for me, I'd write that as a 1/2 rep in my book, and next week I'd go in and smash it. Here, we're just looking at like things that we don't need to do. We don't need to do calf raises with a barbell, both calves at the same time at home. It's just not stable. She falls over here. And I mean, she's a great lifter, but these are just things that you'll learn with time. And like the whole point of you being here, you guys think this presentation's for free? It's not for free. The most important thing you have in your life, you've given me 38 minutes now. The most important thing you have is time. So if I can speed you up so you don't make mistakes like this, that's why this is valuable. You're paying your time to me right now, and I'm giving you a jump start going forward. So how I would fix this, I would do a single leg calf raise with a dumbbell. Use your whole body weight. It'd be much more stable. You can use your other arm to kind of basically hold yourself stable so you don't fall over. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up with the chat now. Yeah, she's on YouTube. So this is a new one that I added in. This is like towards the more advanced style of training. This is where like the bodybuilding style of training comes out. That's where my heart's in it. I love the bodybuilding side, but you guys can learn from this. So first of all, what are we doing here? We're doing a cable side raise. This is not a dumbbell side raise. The cool part about cable side raises is now we're fighting tension at this like diagonal angle. Whereas if she was doing this with a dumbbell, the tension goes straight up and down. Since this is with a cable, this tension is out on this horizontal or this diagonal plane. If this was a dumbbell, this right now where her hands would be the hardest point in the movement at the top end of the range of motion. However, since this is a cable, instead, this right here, fighting this like 90-degree angle, this is the hardest point in the range of motion. So with my athletes, I love to break up where we're really targeting the muscle. So what I would do in a situation like this is we'd start with dumbbell side raises, train that top tension, then come in and program this later in the workout, hit more of that mid tension. We're not done yet, actually. So she's going to do full range of motion. Like I said, like around roughly here, we're getting here the most tension that we possibly could. She's even got something next level. You might have to kind of like zoom in to see, but she's got this attachment, this D handle where it's in her hand, but also on top of her wrist. What that does is it prevents you from like curving your wrist. The whole point of this movement right here is to drive your elbow out. We don't want to think about our wrist. We almost want to pretend that we're like cut off, we're an amputee, we're pulling through our elbow, placing tension on our delt. All right, look at that. I would say that's probably to failure. Does she go for another? No. She jumped right into partial range of motion here. This is one exercise that I really, really, really enjoy partials on. So if you've never tried this before, you lean from the side. That places, again, more of that mid-range tension. You do a set all the way to failure, and then you do these partial reps. Now, extra credit, she's got a home gym here, so it's a little bit hard to set this up. And in her home gym, I don't think it's even possible. In a regular gym, you would take this attachment here and raise it up to the knee height. You want to get just a little bit higher. It's one way to make an exercise that everybody does, like, or everybody should do. Side raises are like the best way to build your shoulders. It just literally makes you look like a wider human being. But getting them set up in this way is huge. It's a game changer. It's something I learned about like 2-3 years ago, and it's one of my favorite ways to train side delts now. Like, see, I've been doing this 18 years, and I've only known about this for 3. Now you guys, some of y'all haven't even been training for 3 years, and now you know about it. So just trying to share as much information as I can. So Huge shout out to Rosie for sharing all these with you guys. She's an awesome person. She's getting ready to go on stage, I believe in July for her first show ever. So we're going to go show what vegans can do on stage. Another one for her. Huge for you guys. This is the beginning of this set and the end of this set. And I want you to notice the elbow positioning. So at the beginning of the set, elbow is basically locked into side. It moves slightly. That's okay. But by the end of the set, she was really struggling here. And elbow, she's really struggling. So like if your rep is that long, that's already an indication that you're probably done. Like that should have been an end of the set there. But she goes for another. Elbow's coming way back and then shooting out forward. We don't need to do that. We can just bring, like, she's not doing it on the left here. We can bring the elbow, leave it alone. It doesn't have to come up that high. The dumbbell doesn't need to like touch our shoulder. She could probably even lose an inch of range of motion here on the left side, but definitely on the right. Once you're struggling that hard, like I admire her tenacity. I admire her desire to get some more reps here, but she's at this point just training her shoulders as much as her biceps. She's not really getting more out of it. We can't standardize these reps. They're different. Every rep is different. The tension time is different. So it doesn't serve her to do these. These aren't the best that she could be doing here for her. There we go. Visual. First rep, elbows down, right underneath shoulder, bicep is flexed, dumbbells out in front of her. Second rep, look at this. The wrist is right over the elbow, whereas on the left side, it's still kind of sitting out in front. There's tension on the bicep. There's no tension on her bicep here. I could hand her like a 50-pound dumbbell and she could hold it all day. So using biceps versus using shoulders. Incredible progress. She actually is a little bit leaner than this now. We just started prep this week, so super, super, super stoked for her. But this is what you guys could do if you apply yourself properly. I think she's been training 4 or 5 years now. We've only been working together since January, so like I'm super stoked. This is exactly what you guys could do if you apply yourself. So let me pull this off of here. Hit the wrong button. Stop sharing. All right, back to you all. All right. Let's hit up Katie here. What's the typical number of exercises you recommend for each body part / workout day? 5 or 6 exercises for leg, chest, shoulders, and back days, but maybe 4 to 5 on arms. Katie, it just depends on how you set up your programming. It depends how many days you're in the gym. You training 3 days a week, 4 days a week, 5 days a week. I think like general rules of thumb is you train more sets for body parts that you want to improve. So this is where we're starting to get a little into the weeds of like, what are we trying to do? Like, let's say your legs are just a lagging body part. We might want to do per week 12, 14, 18 sets for quads. Same for hams, same for glutes. Like that'd be on the top end. Like if we're hitting legs 2 or 3 times per week, splitting it up over several exercises over several days. From like a maintenance standpoint, I would say probably no less than 8 to 10 sets per body part per week. So it really just depends on the variables that you're working with, how much you're trying to train, what you're trying to do. All right. So I want to hit a few of the things that you guys had mentioned before. So how is training going to help you lose fat, like belly fat specifically? You're going to do a lot of abs, a lot of crunches. You're so welcome, Katie. Not really. That's not going to do it for you. Nutrition is huge. Nutrition is going to be a very, very, very big part of this program. But what training allows you to do, allows you to burn calories. A lot of people do cardio to burn calories. That's another way to burn more calories and get leaner. But if you're training hard and making progress, in some ways you're making yourself a less efficient vehicle. And think about it like this. Like we got a Hummer and we got a Prius. I'd personally rather drive the Prius because gas is super fucking expensive right now. But the Hummer's less efficient, which means it burns through more gas. And if our bodies are like the Hummer, I'm kind of like a Hummer. I burned through a lot of food. I'm sweating from the last meal I ate right now. And so the more we can grow these expensive muscles, almost like the expensive engines in Hummers, the more we can burn, but not necessarily as much at rest. Like me, just on a day that I don't go to the gym, I burn more than the average person, but not like a ton more. But at the gym, when you're lifting consistently heavier and more weights, you're creating a much, much different metabolic response by your body. If you go to the gym and you do 10 sets at 100 pounds, or we'll say 10 reps at 100 pounds, you've lifted 1,000 pounds over time. But if you can do 10 reps with 400 pounds, now you've done 4,000. It's so significantly more, and it's way more taxing for your body. It allows your body to burn through more calories. So training is absolutely huge for losing fat. I think that it's overlooked. You can totally just count calories, not work out, and still lose body fat. One, I don't think you're going to look the way that you want when you're done. Two, it's going to take longer. Three, training offers so many benefits in other areas and aspects of your life. We said we wanted to get ripped. Same thing. I mean, like, if you want to look like Rosie, you're gonna have to do the training and the diet. You can't just do one or the other. We're trying to go on stage. 100% recommend getting a coach. I would never go on stage. I did once, and I still regret it to this day, prepping for a show without a coach. It was foolish. It caused some health problems down the line that could have been avoided, and I had no clue what I was doing. I could have done a lot better if I had somebody with some experience and guidance. So if you guys are really thinking about competing, 100% recommend getting a coach. Don't have to work with me. I've got other bodybuilding coaches on the team. You don't even want to work with them, I'll refer you to another vegan team that I trust. I want you guys to be in good hands before your first show. Reversing type 2 diabetes. This one's interesting. Can training help there? Training can help there. Training and exercise in general can help reduce your fasting blood sugar. It can also help improve your insulin sensitivity. Basically, our pancreas has to do a lot of work, creating all this insulin for all the carbs we're eating. If it starts to malfunction, we start having diabetes. Plant-based diet combined with training can reverse type 2 diabetes for a lot of people. So I forget which awesome person here was kind enough to put that out there, but definitely have you fill out that form. I want to talk to you. Bulking without feeling stuffed. That has nothing to do with training. I'll cover that real quick. Bulking without feeling stuffed. We want to look at total like protein intake, total fiber intake. Maybe we could change up some of the veggies that we're eating, or even maybe our carb sources. We're eating a lot of beans. Those are very filling, and might lead to that style of feeling after. So now I want to turn this back around on you guys. It's now we're like a decision tree. We've got path one, we've got path two. I want to talk about the path, the options that you have available, and where you're going to go with it. If you want to go on your own, you can learn from yourself and be like me for the first 10 years of my career. Have at it. I don't recommend it. You can never learn more by yourself than you can with others. It's just like, it's impossible, because if you're training with others, with a team, not only are you learning from yourself, your own knowledge, but you're also learning from the other people on the team. And in this case, like with Vegan Squad, you're going to not only get the knowledge of me, of all the other coaches, but also all the knowledge of the 650 plus clients that we've worked with. Part of being a coach, part of why I've made so much progress in the last few years, not just because I had my own coach, but also because I was coaching, I was learning from others. So I 100% suggest that if you really truly want to improve on your journey, you don't try and figure it all out by yourself. Like I said before, you guys are here, you're paying in time right now. You can literally pay in time or pay in dollars or pay in experience. Like there's a cost for everything. The cost of trying to do this alone, depending upon what your goals are, might be extremely expensive for you. So for a lot of people, the reason they don't make progress, I think it's usually down to two things. One, it's the knowledge. I shared a lot of knowledge today. There is so much more that you need to figure out for yourself that I don't have the time here in 1 hour to share with you. So knowledge could be holding you back. But for most people, myself included, accountability. Accountability is huge. I recently hired Coach Melissa to work with mindset and outlook and helping me run the Vegan Squad team. And I'm just like back in the groove again. I had worked under a coach for 5 years straight for bodybuilding. This is the first time I've worked on this for mindset. I can tell you guys, it fucking works. I am next level right now. I'm doing things I never thought I would because I have someone there to hold me accountable. I can't just quit on myself anymore. So if the way I've portrayed myself is interesting to any of you, if any of you would be interested in being more like myself or the other coaches on the Vegan Squad coaching team, you start through coaching, and honestly, it never stops. I'm still being coached right now, and I'm loving it. It is accelerating my life to the places that I never even thought I could be at. I'm doing things that are scaring the shit out of me every single day, and it's awesome. That's where we grow. We get uncomfortable. We get pushed. That's part of your coach's job, is to push you. And it has completely transformed my life. And I would love for everyone here to get to experience that. If you want to become an owner of a business, if you want to become a leader, become an activist, a mentor, work on your relationships, build your family, this is how you do it. It's through coaching. I would not be here telling you that. I swear on my life. I swear on every animal that I'm here to save. I believe that through coaching, you can learn so much and learn how to see yourself. That's the hardest thing. And I'm living in the vegan squad house right now. We got 8 vegan coaches in this house, and we all see each other better than we see ourselves. And so it's so helpful to have someone else look at you and tell you who you are and what you can become if you apply yourself. So I urge all of you, training is huge. Training is important. Sending video footage, at least if you don't have a coach, send it to yourself. Hold yourself accountable. But if you truly want to transform your life and take 3 years, 4 years to get into the seat that I'm in instead of 18, I 100% believe in every single one of you that you can. With the right guidance and the right attitude, you guys can go out and change the world. And back to the beginning, if you're vegan, great. If you're not, let's get you fucking there right now. And if you're not an activist, speak up. Learn. You can do this. You can share things on social media. You don't have to be at protests or yelling at people on the street. It can work. Time and place for everything. You can wear a shirt. I buy shirts for every single one of our clients. So if there's any clients on here that don't have a shirt, reach out. I'll send you a shirt. You can go find some vegan friends in person. But sincerely, let's go, Miriam. Every single coach on our team has either been coached by me or through the coaching academy that I've run. And if you guys want to be a part of this, you want to be on this team and grow what we're doing here, the first step is to get coached. So if you truly want to change your life, I will make time for one person. I'll look through who applies right now. I will make time for one person tonight. I will give you a call, see what this can look like for you. I'm going to pick the person that I feel like is most aligned and most ready to change their life. I'll send you a text message from my own personal phone, and we'll set this up tonight. So if you are interested in talking to me and you want to change the world, you want to change your training, click that link. I promise it'll be the best decision of your life. I'm ready to roll. You guys got questions? I want to hear them. I'm sure some people are filling out that form right now. We got about 4 or 5 minutes before we're going to introduce the next guest. And I am here. I appreciate all of you taking your time out of your day. Like I said, this isn't free. You all paid to be here. You paid in time, the most valuable resource that any of us have. I would suggest you don't waste it. I'm 33. I wish I'd hired my first coach at really honestly like 19, 2 years before my first bodybuilding show. Or really honestly, as soon as I could have ever had one. I did not know that this was a possibility, that I could live my life this way, to be seen and to be pushed to become 100% of my potential. And every single one of you can too. Sharon, thank you for being here. Miriam, let's go. I've seen you active in the community. I appreciate you helping grow what we're doing here. As part of this, guys, we want to grow this. We want to have a worldwide movement. We've already done quite a lot in our first, like 9 months? We're just getting started. Thank you, Romy. You rock. Can't wait to see you next time we're back in Gainesville. Carly, thank you. All right. I know that you guys have some questions at the beginning or goals. If there's anything I didn't cover, 5 minutes, use my time. I'm here. Let's work. Live coaching, drop it in there. If you want to come off mute and have a conversation, first person to it. Recently started with Miranda. She's a great coach and cheerleader. Would love to be a part of the squad one day. Let's fucking go. Miranda is awesome. Miranda is life-changing. Miranda has changed my life. She's helped grow this team so much, so fast. Miranda, got to quit her full-time job and come do Vegan Squad coaching full-time. That is what we do. We're taking people out of industries and out of jobs that they don't want to be in. Jackie, let's go. So good to see you. I remember you. Taking people out of jobs that they don't want to be in and putting them in places where they can change people's lives. Like, I have the best life ever. I seriously, I've been telling Allie every morning, I'm the happiest I've ever been. She's like, you're also the most stressed you've ever been. I'm like, it's because I'm doing some hard things, but I'm growing. I'm growing every single day, and I'm learning how to figure it out. Recovering from an injury, Romy. Should I prioritize rest so that I can get back to workout routine ASAP? Depends on that injury. It depends on where it's at. You said back, I believe, earlier. If you can safely get steps, or you can safely get some stretching or some mobility or some yoga in, then maybe you do that. But if not, like I tell people, if you're feeling a little bit sick, instead of spending that 2 hours in the gym, go take a nap or go take a bath, go do some self-care. CT, what are you doing cutting to get into single digit body fat? Hire a coach. No, I mean, sincerely, I'm assuming you're a man. Single digit body fat for a woman is like stepping on stage. That's super peeled for a woman. For a man, that's still very lean. That's probably leaner than like 98% of men. We're gonna have to track. We're gonna have to measure everything. Training will be obviously important because you don't want to just be like a, as I say, a twig or like extremely skinny. But cardio is going to almost always be needed there. And then really being locked in on your diet. And you got to kind of be careful there. You don't want to go so low on your food that you're more likely to binge or develop an eating disorder. You can't be so high on your food that you're not losing weight in a reasonable time frame because you don't want to be in like a very slow cut for a long time. So are you using a food scale? Are you weighing everything that you eat? Are you logging everything that you eat? That would be like first steps. If you're not, you're just taking shots in the dark. Princess, do you work with international clients? Yes. We work with people all around the world. I've had a bikini competitor in Tokyo, Japan. I've had a client out of Italy. We've got a client in one of the S's, Switzerland, I believe. Switzerland or Scandinavia. One of the S's. we got people in South America. We got Canada. Shout out Dustin there. Yeah, we work with people all around the world. We got Hawaii. Technically, it's part of the United States, but yes, Princess, we do. So fill out the form. Let me grab the link for. There we go. Alex is spot on. I love Alex. Yeah, I mean, we're doing other things too, guys. Like this is not just coaching. Vegan Squad, we're moving into content creation. We're using Ella Majors as well. Myself, I was like the test dummy, but it did really well. Ella Majors up like 3,000 followers in the last 2 weeks. All of her efforts to save the beagles, like literally out there saving the beagles right now, working on that. It's huge because that's where we're going to be able to change the world, not just through coaching, but also through how we present what we're doing. And I'm also trying to spread the Vegan Squad House movement the entire month of April. It's me, Alex, Ashley, Melissa, Courtney, Allie. Tyler came for a little bit, Coach Tyler. We've got Coach Seth flying out here. We're bringing out 2 clients and another future team member, all to stay in a house for this entire month. It's been anywhere from 6 to 10 vegans in one house. It is the best time. Alex is the best time ever. He's nodding his head. I think he's eating food. Yes. Seriously, I want to show you guys. Yeah, Emilio, like maybe you can come out next time. Like we're trying to change the fucking world, guys. I never have had this before in my life. This is the second time we've done a Vegan Squad House. I want to do one like every month for the rest of my life. I want to put this out there. I don't want to be the only one doing this. We're talking about if we can get some passports doing the Vegan Squad cruise. Go on a regular cruise, not a vegan cruise. Let's go on a cruise where we can change some lives. Let's go on a cruise where we can convert some people, show people how you can be jacked, fit, vegan, sexy, tan, and not killing animals and having more fun than other people. Then they want to come over and be like us. We get to be representatives for this. All right, Miriam, been working out consistently every other day to help me, but one of my goals is lose weight, but I'm not toned like I want to be. Arms and legs hurt the next day, but I don't see anything toned. The next day after that, I'm not hurting anymore. All right. Are we tracking? Are we logging, Miriam? Those need to be happening like right now. Are you sending video footage at least to yourself? You need to definitely do these. Yeah, we've been working on content, Emilio. Content's huge. Like we need to be putting it out there. And a cruise does sound awesome because I think it's going to be really awesome to just be able to document this and put this in front of thousands of people. I've been on a cruise before. You started running into the same people over and over again. They're going to wonder, what are we doing? All wearing Vegan Squad shirts out there. Let's go. So if you want to talk to me tonight, I'm going to go check who's filled out the link. I'm going to pick my favorite one. I'm going to send you a message. Click that link. I'll get in touch with you. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for changing the world. Keep believing in yourself. I know you can do better. Ask a little bit more and prove yourself right that you can.